Hey everybody, and good Monday evening to you. It is the area's most detailed weather forecast video. This is the kind of content that you may be looking for in the coming days and even weeks, as we have a pretty active wintry pattern ahead of us, and we have a holiday this week, of course, with Thanksgiving coming up on Thursday. So we're going to cover everything you need to know, whether you're hitting the roads or not over the next few days. And then, will we be impacted by some snow before this week is through. But first, a quick review of today's numbers. This is probably going to be the high water mark, almost certainly will be the high water mark of the week and for the foreseeable future. 52 are high at the Youngstown Warren Airport today. We may not see the lower 50s again until sometime in mid to late December. That's how prolonged the upcoming cold looks like it's going to be. Our averages at this time of the year, 31 for an early morning low and 46 for a daytime high. Today is a big date on the weather calendar here locally. On this date back in 1950, the biggest one event snowfall record or snowfall amount occurred in our area. In other words, the most snow from one specific event or storm. Officially at the Youngstown Airport in Vienna, 27 inches worth of snow from the evening of the 24th through the 25th day of November back in 1950. This was the Great Appalachian snowstorm, and it's one of my favorite kind of idiosyncrasies about our local weather. Our biggest snow event did not occur in winter here locally. It occurred in late November, around Thanksgiving time in 1950. Pittsburgh, Wheeling, Steubenville, Akron, Ashtabula, all these locations picked up just a ton of snow. The OSU Michigan game played back in Columbus. The snowfall amounts were not as heavy over there, although it was very windy, but still they played in a raging snowstorm. The big rivalry game between Michigan and Ohio State played at the Horseshoe back on this date in 1950 in the midst of a historic snowstorm. And someone asked me on Facebook earlier today, does this storm even beat out 1978? And the answer to that is yes. The blizzard of 1978 gets a lot of buzz around here. It's one of the most notable snow events on record, but the actual snowfall totals in northeast Ohio and western PA were not nearly as high as in western Ohio and up into Michigan. We dealt with a lot of wind and, of course, enough snow to be problematic, but the snowfall totals were nothing compared to that 1950 storm back in late November. All right, in the meantime, it's not snow but rain that's out there for tonight. Some pockets of rain right now. This will become a little more consistent as we go into the late evening and the overnight. There'll be a few hours of fairly steady rain when most of us are sleeping. And the good news is this will be out of here by the time most of us head out the door tomorrow morning. And actually, I think the sun's going to come out on our Tuesday. Take advantage of Tuesday afternoon. This will be the nicest day we have in a while because it'll be seasonable. It'll get into the mid-40s. I think we'll break into just about a full supply of sunshine for the afternoon on Tuesday. We're not going to say that very often in the future, that is for sure. The clouds will roll back in pretty quickly then Tuesday night. And for holiday travelers on Wednesday, this just looks like an overcast ho-hum day. Now, some of the modeling suggests there might be a little late precipitation trying to push in before the afternoon is through. I think that'll be fighting some dry air. So we have a dry forecast for Wednesday, but could there be a sprinkle or a snowflake randomly by the end of the day? Maybe, but no big deal. Now, this is the system we've been keeping an eye on for several days now. We talked about this in detail late last week. I brought more updates on social media over the course of the weekend. And here it is. This thing is going to be in existence. There was some doubt as to whether there would even be a storm on some of the modeling late last week. Some of the modeling didn't have anything. But there will be a storm, but it's going to be a weak one. It's going to be a fast-moving one, and there's not a lot of cold air in place ahead of it. So while our weather map here Thursday morning, Thanksgiving morning, shows a lot of blue, and I think there will be some wet snow trying to mix with the rain, it's going to be pretty low impact. Our temperatures will be mostly above freezing. And so while there can be some slush, and we'll have to watch those bridges and overpasses, that kind of thing, aside from some small slushy accumulations on the grass and on car tops and on decks and railings and things like that, I think we'll be in decent enough shape. If you're hitting the roads early in the day on Thursday, everything will be damp. It'll be gloomy outside. In the afternoon, probably not much better, with a little drizzle maybe. But not looking for big impacts on area roads with this system pushing through. Here's a look at our computer model spread as far as snowfall expectations. The NAM suggests there's up to 1.5 inches. A couple of models show between 0.5 inch and 1 inch, and then a couple of models are even below that. I lean towards the lower end of these model solutions. I think some measurable snow, some slushy accumulations will be a possibility. Again, especially on the grass late Wednesday night and into Thursday. morning. Our big story here beyond Thanksgiving will be the cold. This will easily, hands down, be the coldest air mass of the season so far. So our wind chills at daybreak, Friday morning in the teens, Saturday morning in the single digits, and not much better than that Sunday and into Monday. And actually, this forecast only goes out through Monday. But beyond that, I don't see much in the way of relief from the cold through at least the first week to 10 days of December. Looking out in the longer range, the pattern may start to break down and become milder as we head towards the solstice and a little bit closer to Christmas. But I'll tell you, the first 10 days, if not maybe even 2 weeks of December, are looking pretty cold. And the lakes are wide open for business. And I think there's going to be some pretty gargantuan snowfall totals looking out over the next couple of weeks in areas around Erie, especially just south of Buffalo, Jamestown, New York, along 86. But the I-90 corridor, northeast Ohio, northwest PA, southwest New York, it's going to be a real snow blitz. Now, this isn't all coming at once, but from Friday, when the lake effect machine really starts kicking up, through at least the first week to 10 days of December, I think there's going to be places along that I-90 corridor and I-86 in New York that have a couple of feet of snow on the ground before all is said and done. And our local viewing area occasionally will be impacted by, kind of the outskirts of this, but a lot of this lake effect, at least initially for the first week or so, a lot of it's going to be more on a westerly breeze to a southwesterly wind even, as opposed to a northwest flow, which would drive more of those streamers down into our area. So I'm not looking for big lake effect numbers in our television viewing area, at least through the first probably week of December. But if you're doing some holiday traveling after Thanksgiving, Friday, even into Saturday, even though it may relax for a bit, but then the lake effect machine probably starts kicking back up again Sunday and Monday. Anybody going to Erie, going to Buffalo, anywhere in this zone, even some of the eastern suburbs of Cleveland, you're going to encounter some lake effect, certainly, before the holiday weekend is through. So locally, if you're doing some traveling before Thanksgiving, again, it's Wednesday night, early Thursday, that there could be some slushy spots, most of the roads wet. Thursday afternoon, evening should be fine. Friday for shoppers, doing all right. Could be a flurry or two. It's going to be brisk and cold, but I'm not looking for anything all that impactful on the roads on Friday locally. Saturday should be largely okay as well. And then on Sunday, even though the lake effect is probably aimed still to our north, there could be a weak little clipper that rides through the lower Ohio Valley that might try to spread a little light snow our way. Not lake effect, more of a general light snow. That'll be possible Saturday night, Sunday morning. That's a low confidence thing at this point, though, so stay tuned on that. And as I've been talking about, this cold has staying power. Look at our temperature estimations here over the next 10 days. Now, we're not going to see highs in the teens anytime real soon, but we're going to struggle to hit 30 pretty routinely from the upcoming weekend into that first week of December. Overnight lows will be in the teens fairly routinely, but this isn't the kind of air mass. We're not deep into the winter enough yet that we're going to have some sort of stretch where it's 0 at night and teens during the day. We're not going to see that. But this is pretty cold stuff for early December and early in meteorological winter. So lots and lots to talk about this week. This is your source for the most weather information for the Mahoning and Shenango Valleys and all of Northeast Ohio and Northwest PA. We'll do it again Tuesday evening here on YouTube and wherever you're watching, whether for Weather Geeks this evening. Thanks for watching and have a great rest of your Monday night.